have Kendra Burns from Talking Forest and coming from Germany. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome.
Hi, good morning. I'm from Aberdeen, Washington, and I live in Germany with my Air Force husband. We're having a great time. And I put this photo up here because if it weren't for Todd Bates, my professor, I probably wouldn't be standing on this stage today. I was stumbling through my AA degree and getting those general courses, and I didn't really know my path. I knew I loved the outdoors. I knew I loved to hike, and I knew that my family was in the logging industry working in Sierra Pacific. My mom was an oversized load pilot, and Todd Bates finally brought in a program after I think a year or two of me going through my AA degree, and he said, you know, you want to go into forestry? I said I would love to. My family's already involved, and he basically showed me the course description, and once I got in, I succeeded, and I resurrected the Grace Harbor College Society of American Foresters and the Natural Resources Club, and I still mentor those students today. So I am now doing social media for the industry and helping get everyone online. So as you saw in the presentations before us, social media will be really useful. And I'm not saying that word of mouth isn't good. However, word of mouth plus the website plus social media can really elevate your brand and get you into that market share that was just discussed. So I'm going to teach you just the basics. And I'm also human. I've done some presentations and conferences, but I'm also going to say ums and ahs and all that. So even though I'm a speaker, I'm still human. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that.
You're listening to the Talking Forest podcast with your host, Kendra Burns. In today's world, it's important to communicate your story online. And Kendra can help you by diving into social media and providing you with free tips and insights on how to build your organic social media following and shine online. Having been raised low income, first in her family to go to college, and a proud international military spouse, Kendra develops creative media content across many social media platforms from anywhere in the world. Her inspiration comes from the people who give her hope and believe in her so she can believe in you. Follow the Talking Forest podcast today to see how she lives the dream of a traveling virtual entrepreneur and get you tech tips as we keep up with the latest on social media.
So that's my voiceover for my podcast. I'm really proud of that. And I'm the only one in the industry that has a podcast. So you're all welcome to be guests on the podcast. I'm featuring everyone in the industry. I have wood scientists, I have college students. I just recorded some folks from the UK, from Confor, and from the Forestry Commission. I'm just getting a perspective, a live perspective of what people think and asking them really, really deep questions. And it creates really good content and people are listening, so. Darn it. I don't want that to start over, sorry. So this computer? Okay. Got it. All right, so this presentation is being recorded. If people want to take photos of me with their cell phones, I will actually, if you submit them to my email, I will give you a free LinkedIn audit and basically help you elevate your professional presence on LinkedIn. So you're welcome to take photos of me and email me, and we'll see who wins. Let the games begin. Okay, embrace social media and you will win. So how do I do this? I mean, there's so many posts out there, there's so much content, I'm consuming it constantly. So how do I keep up? Well, I learn to do things that come to my mind. So right when it comes to my mind, I get on my phone, I post it, or I send it to myself to post it. Push out negative thoughts and with positive affirmations daily. So I have to do a lot of positive self-talk because there's a lot of negative things out in the world. So this really helps. Follow influencers that speak to you. I have one for every social media platform. So what I did was I figured out who's best on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and followed what they were doing so that I could do it for the industry. Read and listen to motivational books and podcasts that lift you up. So, how to get heard online. I have 3 big tips. Timing, relevance, and execution. Timing is really important because we all live in different time zones. So what's the best way to post on social media? Well, you want to post when people are on their phones. When are people on their phones? People are on their phones when they're waking up. People are on their phones when they're on their lunch breaks. And people are on their phones after work. So in the time zone, respectively, figure out what that is, and you need to be posting at that time. Relevance. So this week is National Forest Products Week. So hashtag National Forest Products Week, hashtag Forest Products Week. That is relevant right now. Execution. So we want to actually execute our posts. So sharing an article is cool. However, what's the context and why was it interesting to you? You should also be putting a little bit of context to what you're posting. So if you're posting your research, what is really cool about it? What was some things that the public would understand that you could post and say in the copywriting of the text before you post? So figure out who your audience is. I've already done that in our industry. What your audience likes, do more of. Figure out what they like, post more of that. Organic is slower, better than buying followers. And yes, unfortunately, people are in the market of buying people, which is really, really unfortunate. I'm an organic social media marketer. I do not do the buying followers thing. Use hashtags to be searchable. On most platforms, they operate via hashtags. So, when we're building social media, how do we do that? Well, this is a social media pyramid. So first, I consult with building a social media presence. Then we get your reputation going by posting what you're doing in your company or your business or your research that you're doing. And then we find out who our ambassadors are and have them post for us. We start engaging with our audience, and that's when the influence comes. That's when you become an influencer. All right, hashtags versus tags, URLs. What is the difference? So this is the difference. The hashtags are search and find tool. So most of the social media platforms have a search bar at the top. All you need to do is put in our respective tags for our industry, and you'll find who's using that tag in each platform. Hashtags are different than tags. So tag is with an @ sign, and when we do the tag, this is a branding creation tool. We are branding. So we are at Society Wood. That is a brand. And when you couple that, instead of having an @ sign, you add it at the end of a URL, and then it becomes a full link that you can click through. So, unfortunately, Twitter threw me for a loop recently, and I thought it was 23 characters, but they changed it to 15. And so, as you can see, Tallwood Buildings, why does it say BLDGS? Well, that's because Twitter cuts it off automatically. So we can't have the full word building because it's built to the software of 15 characters only. So I have to work around that all the time. So one of my favorite platforms that actually is also helping me stand here today is LinkedIn. It gives us the capability to communicate with the world. You're able to grow your network and give value to other people. Once you embrace this change, you're able to really build a community, and that's what we're doing in Wood Science. Asking people to help you is really, really crucial. So I asked if I could document a building in France. I got a response, yes. Okay, so we messenger each other on the LinkedIn platform, and then I was able to actually go see an entire block of CLT buildings that they're building in Strasbourg, France. And that was just because I asked, hey, can I go see this building with you? The person ended up calling the designer and architect of the building and manager, and we all went on site and toured the building. Take criticism. So this has been really important for self-development. They kind of go hand in hand. So whenever I do a conference, I always ask people to criticize my presentation or to help me make it better. So if you're a professor or a teacher, then the criticism that you're giving your students actually can make them better. It really helps people. And so I ask for criticism purposely so that I can have feedback to change and be a better presenter. Self-development is also really important, and they talk a lot about it openly now on most of the platforms. So find your dream influencer. So go on the media, figure out who's doing great. On LinkedIn, I would say for this industry, Craig Rawlings from Forest Business Network is on LinkedIn. He reposts all the wood science. So Instagram, stay away from acronyms because when you type in SWST, you come up with all this random stuff, and that basically doesn't help our industry. So research and use 30 or less hashtags that are relevant. And stories, there's a story function that you can do, which may be out of some of your guys' wheelhouse, but stories is another 24-hour thing. You can add some hashtags. You can follow hashtags on Instagram and engage with comments and questions. Twitter, it's super easy to go. All you have to do is retweet other people's things. That's not the best solution to your marketing or branding in your company. We also need to create content that's inviting and engaging. So when you're sharing your research, you can do that too. You can have a few sentences with some hashtags and share what you're up to. So I've met Twitter friends in real life that I've been meeting around the world. Good old Facebook. Facebook's a catch-all. Everyone's on Facebook, except for maybe the teen 12, 13, 14-year-olds. So this is where we're catching everyone, and we have some really good analytics here. We can grab demographics really easily because it's already on the site, so you can figure out who's following you. Almost every age group is here. It's really personal. And yes, if you like too many things, too many people pages, or you message too many people at one time, Facebook will put you in jail. And yes, I've been there. It was in my early days. I try not to do that anymore. And Facebook is worth staying on to see your family and friends and your professional life all in one place. Secrets to balancing everything that I do. I use a cloud-based system to store everything and use my smartphone. Also store hashtags in a category in one place and copy and paste them. Use a scheduling service like Buffer, Hootsuite, Sprout Social. Schedule things ahead of time. Think of what you want to post before you post it, and stay organized in one central calendar. What is more important than a like? Engaging. Stop posting and ghosting. Stop posting something and then not going back and engaging with the comments. More than just a like, if you follow or comment, then you're able to actually engage people on that platform. On any social media platform, did you know that if you comment or use relevant hashtags, that it's worth more than the algorithm, the AI, will actually push it up so people can see it. So the more you interact with other people's content, the more that the algorithm goes, oh, they're relevant, and then they keep you guys together in your news feeds. So, own your story. This is a show that really hit me. I was watching something and this guy was saying, there's always going to be naysayers out there. Your guys' research is really important. Are you going to let someone tell you that it's worthless? No. Are you going to let someone tell you that it may not work out? No. You're still going to research. If 5,000 people are telling you that what you're doing is whatever they think it is, no, ignore them. Just do your thing. Be proud of your narrative. Be proud of your story and your research. You are the only one that is uniquely you, so share it. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about, so kindness wins. That's my motto on social media. So if someone's attacking me, I say, I respect you, thank you. Have a nice day. So, Talking Forest is here for you. And as you see at the bottom, do you see a common URL theme? Talking Forest is less than 15 characters, so I could build that on all my social media platforms. So, any questions?
Thank you so much, Kendra. Do we have any questions for Kendra?
Hey, good morning, Kendra. Thank you for that. I'm just curious what you see the role of social media being for forest products industries of different sizes, maybe just like for a small company, how might that differ for something really large firm? And what is it going to look like in 5 years? If you have any kind of feel for that.
Yep. Okay, so if you're not on social media now as a small business, it's going to be more and more expensive. So if small businesses aren't on now, this market is going to be flooded with the Coca-Colas, the Volkswagens. So the people who are doing the regular media, like a newspaper, magazine, What's going to happen is they're going to drop off, and they may not do those anymore. Most societies are going and organizations are going towards the social media or the website and the mobile, because what do we have in our pockets? We have a device that shares all of that, so why not? So what's going to happen is these Coca-Colas, Pepsis, the big corporations, they're going to basically only be using social media in 5 years. And so if us small people don't get on it now as our piece of the market, and if we don't market ourselves right now, then we can become irrelevant. And it will cost more. We'll be buying attention. We'll have to buy attention at that point. So right now, if I place ads on Facebook, it's $5, $10 at a time, but it could be way more expensive in 5 years. That's my projection.
Okay, there is still time for another question.
Thanks. What I observed, Facebook is like an old-fashioned, the good old, as you said. So there are more and more media coming up. Market development is often like this, that you get less, you get concentrations to a few companies. Do you think the social will be concentrated in the future to fewer, or it will grow and grow and grow?
Are you asking about the platforms that we were able to
Different
use?
platforms. And another platform, I pick it up for my students, they are on things that I've never heard even.
Yes. So I'm trying to get the catch-all platforms while they're still relevant, but the goal is to go where the people are. So if Facebook for all of a sudden just becomes irrelevant or not relevant anymore, I'm probably going to have to change my strategy. And I just had to change my strategy recently because Facebook and Instagram created a new software called Creator Studio, which I didn't know about until just this week. So I had to completely change my strategy with my clients. Because I used to use the scheduling platform alone. It used to be a one-stop shop. I could post across 4 platforms at one time. I used to schedule over 120 posts a day and just go on vacation, right? But no, I have to keep up with that, and we do as well. If we want to be relevant and keep our companies and make some money, then we should be going where the people are. So keep going. I'm not saying that we have to go to Snapchat. I'm not on Snapchat myself, but just stay with the platforms where people are. So if we aren't on Instagram, we're kind of missing out. There's actually influencers who are making money completely living off of being an Instagram influencer right now. Yeah, so go where the people are. That's my advice.
All right, thanks so much. Well, with this, we will conclude the business, marketing, and regulation session. So I want to ask you for another round of applause for all the speakers. Thank you. And the next activity will